It should come as no surprise that this committee is holding, once again, a hearing on export controls. That's one of the most important things we do in our jurisdiction. They are essential to countering our adversaries, especially China, as they were to defeating the Soviet Union. During this Congress, this committee has already passed 4 bipartisan export control bills, and we plan to do much more. As the CCP expands their surveillance state and war machine, it's critical we stop selling our sensitive technology to them and to other adversaries. We are now witnessing a troubling trend where our adversaries use American components in their weapons and their surveillance systems. One need look no further than the CCP spy balloon that surveilled some of our most sensitive military sites. It was widely reported that it used commercially available American technology. We're beyond the point of a wake-up call. Americans' adversaries are using American innovation to undermine U.S. national security interests and our allies and our democratic values. BIS, while within Commerce Department, is within this committee's jurisdiction, and we've been working very closely with Mr. Estevez to use its extensive authorities. As was pointed out in my 90-day review of the BIS released last December, these authorities are vitally important to securing our national security. While some positive action has been taken by the administration to restrict advanced chips and chip-making equipment to China, more, I believe, must be done. For instance, reports indicate that the United States did secure a deal with Japan and the Netherlands to apply similar export controls on chips, which I was fully supportive of and helped assist with. But while this agreement is promising, it still largely allows Japan and Netherlands to service and to sell tools to China for chip manufacturing, I guess based on future contracting. Mr. Estevez, you are in charge of BIS, and this is a very important job at this time in history. And we want to work with you and support you in your effort. Chairman Xi wants a military capable of invading Taiwan. Every day, I hope you wake up and ask yourself how you will use export controls to deny China's military access to U.S. innovation and capabilities. And while we work to keep American technology out of our adversaries' hands, state needs to do more to work with our partners and allies to open new markets to American companies. We must remain competitive, have a global footprint, and use soft diplomacy to counter China's Belt and Road. Mr. Fernandez, I hope your testimony today will reflect that as your primary goal. My bipartisan Championing American Business Through Diplomacy Act aimed at opening markets for U.S. companies. And I'm concerned that some of the aspects of that law may not be implemented as fully as it could. We need that for a great power competition. I'm also concerned the White House is either not listening to our diplomats or not being told what harm their actions are having on the U.S. economy. The President's recent decision to ban LNG export permits is a perfect example of a policy that harms U.S. business interests and U.S. foreign policy. After all, it was American LNG that kept the lights on in Ukraine after Russia's full-scale invasion. I led the effort to sanction Nord Stream 2. I never imagined a president would waive those sanctions, allowing Russian energy to and Europe to be dependent on Russian energy. But it's been American LNG that's helped Europe divest from Russia. American energy is the cleanest energy in the world. And when we take that option off the table, I think we're hurting ourselves and the world and putting that into the arms of China. and their energy is not clean. In fact, it's dirty. Finally, I just on the issue of Iran, I know Mr. Fernandez is not in your jurisdiction, but when we see an administration not enforcing sanctions on energy coming out of Iran being sold to China to the tune of $80 billion, that then goes into funding their terror operations, that's an energy policy that makes no sense to me at all. And I know we'll talk more about that. I know that's not within your purview, but I just say that in this public hearing that something has to change, on that.